What's going on YouTube? It's James with Shyhammer Fantasy and the Waaaggghh Workshop. Now, as you guys know, this is Waaaggghh Workshop number 18. We're going over the banner. If you guys haven't watched 13, 14, 15, and 17 right now, you should probably watch those, and you got like a whole hour's worth of content. But basically, I'm going over custom banners, and this is my brother's war banner, and basically that's what this is going on. Anyways, not to kill more time, but what I'm doing here, as you can see, this is the one side from episode 13 through 15. We have a Tusker on this side. This is the war banner. So basically, we're going to have double-sided banner going on here. This side's going to have this Iron Gut helmet with a skull, a Fu Manchu, and the sword. So, and then the maw, obviously. So that's what I did. Where I left off in the last video is I basically did all the base coats. So I did all the dark colors, the gray. This is just basically a layer of dark colors that I put down to give me an outline of where I want to go. I started adding Mournfang Brown. I know that looks very orange, but there's Mournfang Brown. And I did it so I could plot out my teeth, the jaw, and the eye socket. And this kind of gives me some room to go. I'm going to go ahead and shine the light down because this is a better lighting source for you guys, but not for me. I can't see shit right now, so I'm gonna have to go like that, which unfortunately gives ugly glares on the camera. Camera picks up some really ugly colors going on there. But what I'm gonna do is, or what I did do is I already started doing the highlights from the corn red on the thing to a Mephisto red here because you guys already see me do it on the other side, so I figured you guys pretty much don't need to see that. We can save some time there. What I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start mixing colors and brightening up certain areas. Let's start with the skull really quick, actually. So the skull, like I said, I always work with Velour Brown for skull colors because Velour Brown and Screaming Skull to me is the easiest way to get skull tones, and it just gives me consistency with all my skulls that I make. So I'm going to go ahead and work here, and I'm going to try to do this on camera. Let me move the camera just a tad bit down so I can get better angle for myself. And like I said, the Velour for me, I think is a new color pot, so it actually is bleeding a little bit, which is fine because now I have those base coats for it to bleed under and show more color through. It's a little bit. And I hope you guys are enjoying these. I always enjoy giving you guys content. I feel like if I don't give content on a consistent basis, I will be forgotten. And you guys will be like, remember that guy who used to say, "What's going on? Where the fuck did he go?" I don't know, but did you see that new guy who came out? Yep. And that's it. James is forgotten. So what I'm doing here is I'm just picking out some highlighted areas, and this is not going to be perfect. Again, nothing is ever really perfect. The two colors you always want to kind of save for last almost is black and white. Black and white basically are the ultimate colors on any painting, really. The darker the color, the more your eye draws to it. The brighter the color, the more your eye draws to it. So we want to add black areas like the eye sockets and the teeth or the jaw and the inside of the mouth. But we want to add black and whites on that helmet because that'll give it shine and some gleaming to it. But at the same time, you want to save it to the end. You want to get all your other colors down first. Now the teeth, I added these giant orcish jaw teeth because it's an ogre. He has a bigger mouth. He probably has some big chompers to chow down through some massive amounts of meat. You don't see it because, you know, his mouth is usually closed and he has a fat jaw to begin with. So There we go. Okay, so that gives us some velour browns. Man, that light is so bright, but to give you an idea what it's looking like, see, it's just building shape to it. It's not really giving it the best overall definement, but we're getting there. It's going to take layers and layers to do so. Now, I don't like the way that these two teeth here are ending up, so I am going to start doing some black to cover them up, because those two teeth are creating a downward slope, and that's probably because I saw the flag on a downward slope and try to compensate. So I'm just going to touch it up, make the jaw a little bit more tighter. So there we go. I don't like how far back the jaw is going here, so we're going to go ahead and cut that short. About right there. There we go. A little bit more. Maybe more black though. And like I said in the other video, it's just basically pushing paint around to see. Well, actually, Vince said that, but pushing paint around to kind of get your vision where you want. Now, I know I just said black is one of the last colors you want to add, but I'm actually going to go ahead and do this here with black. And what I'm going to do, as you can see right here, I had this like shine effect going on. I'm going to start adding shine effects, and I'm going to start with black here, and this will give me my starting point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mix the black with some gray, or if you want to just do straight white and mix it, but I'm going to mix it with Eshin gray to get a slightly lighter black, and I'm going to go ahead and blend just a little bit right there. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and grab more Eshin gray and mix that even, and do a little bit more, and let's start heading that way a little bit. Then I'm gonna, well, the rest is Eshin gray, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix Dawnstone with this new color I got, this new dark gray, to lighten it up even more. And I'm gonna go ahead and start going even lighter towards the bottom of that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm hitting the teeth on the bottom there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab straight Dawnstone, and I'm going to go ahead and just bring out a highlight at the bottom of the helmet here, like so. I'm also going to go ahead and do it at the top of the helmet. I'm trying to be careful. Oh, I messed up anyways. Right there. And I'm going to take it off camera so I can get right inside that tooth, because the tooth is in a bad angle for me. Like I mentioned before, just picking up your model and working with it in the 360 sometimes is better for you. And got some highlights going on there. Alright, so what we're going to do now is go back down a layer to Eshin. Just bring it down a notch. That's all I'm doing, is I'm playing with the Eshin, with the grays, with the whites. You know what it is? I don't have my light on me either. Sorry, that's not helping me any. Okay, and I'm going to start adding some scratch marks like so. Okay. Alright. So as you can see, it's starting to build more. Oh man, you can't see that with this. It's starting to build more variance on that helmet. Alright, so let's go ahead and get inside the the lining, because the lining is kind of creating an issue for our eyes. So we're going to get some ash in. We're going to go ahead and build some darkness inside the lining. I'm going to give ourselves some hard lines. I want to give it some depth. There we go. I don't like how big that one came out, so we're just going to dull it down a bit. There we go. Okay. Go a little with the black. And all you're seeing me do is just pick on one spot, but basically this spot, I want it to be a focal point. Not a focal point, but you want to be able to tell it's a helmet from any distance. You want to be like, that's a cool skeleton helmet. I think for skeletons in general, what gives away that they're skeleton is the eye sockets, obviously. The color. Well, the color could change, actually. I take that back. Okay, so take away your lighting real quick so you can see what's going on there. As you can see, that spot just basically came out a little bit more. I'm going to continue doing those same techniques, building in a dark spot, going into a lighter variance, and then all around the whole model. I got to find my white and my administration gray, because those are two light colors. Is white down here? Where the fuck did I put white? That's red hard flesh. Let me dab this in some juice. Huh, can't find my... Oh, white's hiding right in front of my face. Right under my nose. I don't know if I see administration gray, though. Okay, I can't find administration gray, so I'm going to go ahead and just move forward. That's Palette Witch and Carrot Stone. Yeah, I can't find my administration gray. Alright, so what we're going to do is just going to keep moving on. Keep moving forward with what we have. We got Dawnstone and white, that's enough. Alright, so I'll just show you guys really quick. Well, I got plenty of time. I'll still show you really quick what I mean by using white last. So one thing here is we're going to add a little tint of like a watered down red or brown. So what I'm going to do is actually going to mix Mephisto red with a bit of Mournfang brown. Maybe not Mournfang. Let's do Scrag brown. Scrag brown's good, like orangey brown. Actually, Scrag's probably the color I was looking for, but yeah, that still came out pretty good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to water it down just a bit, just a tad bit watered down, so it's nice and runny. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it as a rust effect on the helmet. So we're going to have just little hints of rust going on inside there. Again, I can't see shit, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I added a little too much at the bottom, again, because I couldn't see shit. But you get the point. I'm going to go ahead and just add this tad bit of rust everywhere since I have it made already. And then I'll work with it in. And the way rust works usually is it gets on the edges of stuff. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pick on the edges. Rust has no defined lines. It usually is very blotchy. So we're going to add blotches everywhere. Everywhere is blotches. So it would look like kind of like polka dotted in some spots and splatters in other spots. And this is just, again, probably not the best order for me to do it because I want to paint this sword still. But it gives me somewhere to work with, more or less. So, alright, so now we have some rust on his helmet. Alright, we're going to work with some white highlights, because even if it's rusty, it probably has some spots that are still shining through. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to bring up a super bright white, or gray, with Dawnstone, and this is where I would want administration, to be honest, mixed with white. So I got some white mixed with Dawnstone. I'm just using my hand as a mixing pad here. I usually actually have a tray that I do this on, but I have my tray buried. And I don't feel like bringing it out. I'm burying it for this. So I work with whatever's available, and my hand is always available. Since I have this bright whitish color out, what I am going to do, you want to use this sparingly, because the more sparingly you use it, the better it will look on the item. I'm going to go ahead and use it to brighten up some other areas while I have it out. And as I have it out, I'm going to go ahead and continue working with this really quick. I'm actually going to, I don't mind if it goes over in some spots, because again, all I'm doing is I'm going to darken some areas, brighten some areas, darken some areas, brighten some areas. And I should have listened to my own advice and saved this for last, but sometimes I'm a hypocrite. What could I say? And that's a tricky spot because my brush doesn't want to get in that bend of the flag. So I had to wet my brush to do so. He has all these little spikes on his helmet, which we're just going to make in white for the moment. So, granted, this is my own creation. Doesn't have to have spikes, but you know what? Since it is my own creation, it has to have spikes. And as you can see, the white is starting to bring out like the bolts and the horns and other stuff out that you normally wouldn't see. So that is the beauty of white for a metallic object. White is your shining points. White is the reason things pop out. Now that's not a pure white still. That's still me mixing the gray with white. But this gives me a great idea on balance. Like I said, I am going to save white for last. But what we're going to do here is we're going to build a huge shine spot on the helmet back there. So that's going to be another focal point back there for the helmet. Just kind of give you a shine. I am going to build a shine on this bridge of the nose too. So let's go ahead and build one shine right there. Like so. Alright. Now let's work with some grays now. Let's get some gray colors. I know I could do another shine on the sword, but you know what? Let's actually work on the sword proper. Let's work on the bridge of the nose item proper. And let's get some Eshin tones going on there. This is at like 19 minutes, so I'm going to kill it. Well, I'll wait till it gets to the 24-minute mark, because that's actually the end of the footage I have. And then I will continue working on this off camera. Oh, that came out really blotchy. Sorry. Sorry, banner. But, yeah. And you might see me like jumping around in spots. That's totally okay too. That is also, you'll see that a lot in like comic book artists who do inking. They don't ink in one spot. They kind of jump around. And there's no right or wrong way to do it, obviously. It's just something you could do that'll help. You see something, you work on it. You see something, you work on it. And you constantly go through that cycle of working and fixing up certain things. So I probably should take this off camera so I could see what I'm doing a little bit better. And I will bring it back to you guys with more detail. And I just fucked up a tooth. Alright guys, I'll talk to you guys next time. And peace.